Have you ever met a fellow Buddhist who chants, recites sutras, and repeats mantras every day, yet the moment temples or monastics are mentioned, they're faced items and they say, "These days monks are all greedy and fake"? Have you ever forwarded an article online that mocks or attacks the Sangha, telling yourself, "I am just telling the truth. I did not really do anything wrong"? Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me again to look honestly, sometimes painfully, at our own hearts. Today we need to talk about a topic many practitioners quietly struggle with as lay Buddhists. We recite sutras at home. We ask Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for protection, but we do not really support temples. And we often judge or complain about monastics. Is this just being clear-headed, or does it quietly cross the line into slandering the Sangha and cutting off our own blessings and path? This is not about blind worship of anyone in a robe. It is not about covering up real problems. It is about three intertwined questions. First, why can reciting sutras at home while refusing to support the temple become a hidden crack in our practice and our destiny? Second, what is the difference between wise discernment and slander when we see monastics who are not behaving properly? Third, as lay Buddhists in the modern world, how can we face the imperfections of temples and monastics with awakening, wisdom, and compassion, so that we do not become destroyers of faith, but guardians of our own merit and of the Dharma itself? Let us begin, as always, with a story that might feel uncomfortably familiar. There is an auntie in her 50s. We will call her Miley Ann. She is retired, with more time at home. More than 10 years ago, she encountered the Dharma, and it genuinely changed her life. In her living room, there is a neat little altar with a statue of the Bodhisattva of compassion. Every morning and evening she lights incense, joins her palms, and recites Amitabha Buddha, the Earth Store Sutra, the Great Compassion Mantra. She knows them well. Her friends see her and say, "You are really diligent. Your future rebirth is probably already reserved in the Pure Land." When she chats with others, she often says, "At my age, I do not ask for much. I just want to recite the Buddha's name and be reborn in the Western Pure Land." From the outside, she looks very devout, but she has one very clear feature: she almost never goes to temples. When friends invite her to join a Dharma assembly or a chanting event at a monastery, she waves her hand and says, "No need. Reciting at home is the same. Temples these days are too commercial. Parking costs money. The vegetarian meals cost money. Why spend all that just to listen to a short lecture?" Whenever some news about monastics misbehaving pops up online, especially headlines like monk driving a luxury car or temple making big money, she is the first to forward it to her social circles. Underneath, she will add a comment like, "Look, in this era, how can you still blindly believe? I pray at home. I connect directly with Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. It is cleaner that way." One day, her daughter could not hold back anymore. She asked, "Mom, you recite the Earth Store Sutra every day, right? In it, does the Buddha not repeatedly talk about fields of merit, about the Sangha, about the great power of supporting the three jewels? Why is it that after finishing the sutra, the only conclusion you keep is 'I just need my own blessings. I do not need to care about temples or monks'?" Miley Ann's face changed. She felt criticized and quickly defended herself. "I am not insulting anyone. I am just stating facts. There are many monastics today who are not like the old masters. Besides, the Buddha is in my heart. I chant at home and it is enough." In that moment, she really believed she was being awake. not naive. She saw herself as someone who has faith but is not blind. Yet, from the perspective of cause and effect, she was unknowingly doing something very dangerous. On one hand, she is reciting sutras that praise supporting the three jewels. On the other hand, her actual attitude, words, and online behavior towards monastics and temples are full of suspicion, coldness, even contempt. That gap, over time, can easily harden into deep negative karma toward the Sangha. This is where many modern Buddhists get stuck. We chant about merit, compassion, and wisdom. But in real life, our actual views of temples and monks may be shaped more by sensational news headlines and cynical jokes than by the Dharma itself. Let us look at another example. There's an older brother named Chi Wen. He is a businessman, always busy, always on the move. When he was young, he made many confused choices, hurt people, chased money without conscience. Later, he became seriously ill, lying in a hospital bed, facing the possibility of death. He felt fear for the first time. A friend brought him a sutra, explaining the healing vows of the medicine Buddha. Desperate, he began to read a few pages every day, awkwardly at first, then more fluently. In front of a small Buddha image, he made a vow to reform his life if he recovered. Under the combined power of medical treatment and a new, softer heart, his condition improved. He began to feel the Dharma is real. The Buddha really has power. From then on, he continued to chant at home. He placed a photo of the medicine Buddha on his shelf. Before leaving for work, he would bow and recite briefly, asking for protection. But like Auntie Miley Ann, he never went to temples. When friends invited him to visit a monastery, he shook his head and said, "Temples are too complicated. I prefer to be clean. I will stay at home and chant." These days with the internet, I can watch Dharma talks online. Monks are also human. I do not dare judge them, but I also do not want any entanglement with them. On the surface, his attitude sounds modest and harmless. I will not disturb monks. They should not disturb me. I will just have a private relationship with the Buddha. Yet if we look from the angle of cause and effect, he is doing something very bizarre. It is as if someone drinks sweet, clean water from the tap every day and praises, "This water is so good. It gives me life." But they never ask where the water comes from. They do not care who maintains the reservoir, who cleans the filters, who fixes broken pipes at midnight when there is a leak. They may even complain that the workers' clothes are dirty, that the pumps are noisy. They do not want to see the infrastructure. They only want the water, as if it flows by itself, owing nothing to anyone's effort. Our access to the Dharma is exactly like that. The fact that you can casually buy a sutra in a bookstore, the fact that you can open your phone and instantly watch a Dharma talk, the fact that you can learn about karma, emptiness, compassion, and the Bodhisattva path in your own language is not normal in the big picture of history. Behind every line of text and every audio recording is a long chain of people, monks and nuns, who memorized the teachings, great masters who taught and commented, translators who spent years comparing versions, scribes in ancient times who copied sutras by hand, modern editors and printers, donors who built temples and retreat centers, ordinary lay people who offered food and clothing so that monastics could keep practicing instead of struggling to survive. The Dharma you now enjoy in your living room is like water that has traveled through many channels. If we drink this water every day, praising how pure and sweet it is, but in our heart we look down on the people who maintain the reservoir, or we say, "I only respect water, not the workers, then we are not just independent thinkers. We are quietly sawing off the branch we sit on. Temples, monasteries, and monastic communities are part of the infrastructure that keeps the Dharma alive in this world. They are not perfect. They are built and run by human beings with habits and blind spots. Some do fall away from their vows and cause harm. But without the overall body of the Sangha, the teachings would fade much faster from this world. This is why classics of the tradition speak again and again about the three jewels Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Wisdom is not just in the luminous figure of the Buddha or the words of the teachings. It also lives, for better or worse, in the community of practitioners who carry those teachings forward. So what exactly is slandering the Sangha? Does every complaint count? If you see a monk doing something clearly wrong, are you forbidden to say anything? If you acknowledge scandals, are you doomed? This is where many people either get terrified and shut up completely, or they dismiss everything and say, "I am just telling the truth." Nothing to do with karma. Let us unpack this with care. Imagine two kinds of reactions to the same situation. A lay practitioner discovers that a certain monk in a local temple has been misusing donations. The facts are confirmed. There is real harm. The first practitioner, overwhelmed by anger and disappointment, goes home and begins to share the story everywhere, adding their own flavor. See, all monks are fake. They talk about non-minus attachment but love money. Temples are just businesses. If you still donate, you are foolish. They forward every negative story about monastics they can find, even when they do not know the details. They joke, they mock, they enjoy feeling clever compared to those who still trust. The second practitioner sees the same problem, feels the same initial anger, but then pauses. They say clearly, "This behavior is wrong. It breaks trust. It must be addressed." They choose to stop following that particular monk. They report the issue to appropriate channels, such as temple elders, religious authorities, or in serious cases, legal authorities. But they do not use this one case to smear every monk and nun. They do not say that the Dharma is fake because one messenger was corrupted. They continue to respect monastics who live with integrity. They continue to support temples that are run properly. The first person's mind is driven by emotion and prejudice, and their speech harms the faith of many others, especially those who are new or fragile. The second person's mind is guided by compassion and discernment, and their speech, though critical of a specific wrong, actually protects the broader faith in the Dharma from the perspective of karmic seeds. These two types of speech are completely different. Slander of the Sangha is not merely saying something negative. It is speech rooted in contempt, hatred, or pleasure in tearing down. Speech that paints the entire monastic community as hopeless. Speech that turns people away from the Dharma itself, not just away from a specific abusive individual. Discernment, on the other hand, is naming what is wrong without rejoicing in it, and without generalizing it to everything. It is motivated by the wish to protect beings from harm and to protect the teachings from being twisted. So the question is not, are we allowed to speak? The question is, from what mind are we speaking? And what effect does our speech have? Let us go back to the everyday level. Think about your own online behavior. Have you ever clicked like on a post that mocked monks without context, just because it felt satisfying to see someone exposed? Have you ever forwarded articles that attack modern temples as all corrupt, without checking whether the claims were accurate or balanced? Have you ever joined conversations where people trash the entire Sangha, and you nodded along or added your own cutting comments? thinking you were being realistic. In each such moment, what seed did you plant? You might say, but my individual comment is tiny. The internet is full of noise. What difference does it make? From a karmic perspective, every thought and every word leaves a trace in your own mind first. If you repeatedly tell yourself, all monks are greedy, temples are scams, you are not only criticizing others, you are closing the door of your own respect. You are drying up your own faith. Later, when you sit in front of your home altar and try to recite, your mouth may be reading words that praise the Sangha, but your heart may be subtly saying, I do not really believe in anyone anymore. In that state, how can the Dharma truly sink in? It becomes an idea, a theory, something you keep at a safe distance. There is another angle that is very revealing. Ask yourself honestly when you read sutras that talk about supporting the three jewels, supporting the Sangha, do you read them as if they are old cultural rules that no longer apply? Or do you let them challenge your modern, individualistic assumptions? If the text clearly praises offering to temples and monastics as a powerful way of planting good seeds, but you insist, it is enough if I chant at home, I do not need to support anyone else, then there is a tension between your faith and your ego. Faith says, the Buddha knows more than I do about cause and effect. Ego says, I know better than the Buddha about where my money and time should go. This is not to say that you must give beyond your limits, or that you must support any temple blindly. It is to say that if you never, ever feel moved to contribute even a little to the places and people that keep the Dharma alive, something is out of balance. Supporting a temple does not always mean huge donations. It can be as simple as this. You were planning to spend a weekend afternoon shopping or scrolling, but you see that a nearby temple is holding a Dharma assembly or a group recitation. A small thought arises, maybe I will go, join the chanting, and light a few lamps. Even if I cannot give much, I can add a little fuel to keep this place alive. You act on that thought. You show up. You join the chanting sincerely. You place a small envelope in the donation box, not for show, but with genuine gratitude. You silently wish, may this temple continue to be a place where people can hear the Dharma. That is supporting. Or you attend a lecture where the teacher looks a bit tired, but still patiently explains, answers questions, and then goes back to handle temple affairs. Instead of grumbling that his talk was too long or his style too slow, you let yourself feel a small wave of appreciation. You think, it is not easy to serve like this every day. May he have strength and clarity. That, too, is supporting. Or you are at a gathering where someone begins to attack the Sangha in a sweeping way. They say, all monks these days are useless. They just cheat donations. You do not need to get into a huge argument, but you can gently share. I also know there are monastics who break precepts. That is real, but I have also met many who live very simply, who study and meditate hard, who keep the precepts for decades. It would be unfair to let a few bad cases erase all the good ones. The Dharma itself is still profound, even if some messengers fall. Those simple, calm sentences are also support. Support, in its deepest sense, is protecting the seeds of trust and respect in people's hearts. Now let us be honest about something painful. There have been real scandals, real abuses, and real crimes involving monastics. Some temples have indeed become overly focused on money, status, or fame. Many lay Buddhists have been disappointed, even heartbroken, by such events. Some left the path entirely because they felt betrayed. If you have been through something like that, your hurt is valid. It is completely understandable that you feel cautious, angry, or confused. The path of wisdom does not ask you to pretend that everything is fine. It does not ask you to keep following a corrupt teacher. It does not ask you to keep donating to an unwholesome institution. What it does ask is that you separate three things: the behavior of a particular person, the health of a particular institution, and the truth of the Dharma itself. The surgeon can be incompetent or unethical, but that does not mean medicine itself is fake. A bridge can be poorly built and collapse, but that does not mean architecture is meaningless. In the same way, a monk can fall into greed or abuse, but that does not mean the Buddha's teachings on compassion, wisdom, and liberation lose their value. So if you meet a monastic who truly behaves in a harmful way, the wise path looks like this. First, you calm your own mind as much as possible. You acknowledge the anger and disappointment, but you do not let them completely hijack your speech. Second, you clearly say, "This I cannot support. I will step away from this teacher or this place." Third, if the behavior is serious, you seek appropriate channels to address it: elders in the lineage, supervisors, or legal authorities when necessary. Fourth, you continue to respect and support monastics and temples that are doing their best to practice correctly, instead of letting one bad experience poison everything. And fifth, in your heart, you try to cultivate at least a tiny bit of compassion even for the fallen monastic, not to excuse them, not to remove consequences, but to recognize that they too have lost their way on a path that was originally about awakening. You might think he was trying to walk the path of enlightenment, and now he has fallen even lower than an ordinary person. That is tragic. From that feeling, your actions can be firm and clear without being fueled by hatred. That difference in your inner attitude changes the karmic result of your speech. All of this comes back to the same core: how do we keep our own hearts from becoming hard and bitter while we navigate a complex world as modern Buddhists? It helps to remember another perspective. Many of us, when we first encountered the Dharma, did not start by reading rare manuscripts in a remote cave. We met the Dharma through some combination of temples, books, online content, and living teachers, often monastics. Maybe there was a monk or nun whose chanting calmed you at a time when your mind was a mess. Maybe there was a teacher whose words finally explained karma in a way that made your life make sense. Maybe there was a temple where you could sit quietly when you were grieving or lost. Even if, later, you discovered that some of these humans had flaws, the help you received in those earlier moments was real. Gratitude does not require that the giver be perfect. From the view of karmic gratitude, the Sangha as a whole has given us something priceless: access to the path of awakening. If we only focus on the flaws and forget this, our hearts become small. There is a saying that when water is muddy, you do not curse the river. You let the mud settle, and you continue to honor the source. Likewise, when individual human beings in the Sangha are muddy, we can let our anger and sadness settle, address the specific mud, and still honor the river of Dharma that flows through them. Now let us turn back to ourselves. Maybe, listening to this, you see yourself in anti-Myli, and maybe you have been reciting sutras at home for years, feeling proud that you have the Buddha in your heart while rarely stepping into a temple, and often speaking of monastics with sarcasm. Maybe, like Brother Zhi Wen, you have received real help from the Dharma in times of crisis, but you have kept the Sangha at arm's length, telling yourself you are avoiding complications. when in fact you are avoiding responsibility and gratitude. Maybe in moments of anger or disappointment, you have shared harsh articles about monks these days, adding heavy comments, not realizing that you were not just venting, you were helping to destroy others' trust. If any of this feels uncomfortably true, please do not use it to attack yourself. Shame alone does not transform karma. Clear seeing does. The most frightening thing is not making mistakes. Human beings make mistakes constantly. The most frightening thing is making mistakes and never seeing them as mistakes. If a part of you now whispers, "Maybe I went too far," maybe those casual words and forewords actually hurt something precious. That whisper is your awakening heart stirring. That is the moment your destiny can begin to turn. From here, what can you actually do? You can start very simply. Next time you are about to join in when people mock monastics in a broad, exaggerated way, pause for one breath. Ask, is what I am about to say fair? Is it helpful? Will it protect or harm others' faith? If the honest answer is that it will harm, try not to add more poison. Next time you see negative news, you can acknowledge the wrongdoing, but avoid making it bigger than it is. Name the specific problem without turning it into proof that all temples are corrupt. Next time you read a sutra that praises offerings to the Sangha, let that teaching touch you a bit more. You might not have much money. You might be busy, but you can choose one temple that you feel is sincere and add a little support, even occasionally. The amount is secondary. The heart is primary. You can also make a quiet vow in your own room. Something like, from now on, may I speak less in ways that harm the Sangha, and more in ways that protect faith in the Dharma. May I have the wisdom to see clearly and the compassion to speak carefully. This vow does not require a ritual. It requires sincerity. Every time you fulfill that vow, even in a small way, you are altering the pattern of your mind. Instead of being someone who unconsciously chips away at the very path they claim to walk, you become someone who, drop by drop, helps keep that path intact for yourself and for others. And do not underestimate the power of simply feeling gratitude. One day, perhaps many years from now, you might be sitting in a temple during a retreat. Outside, the world is noisy. Inside, the chanting rises and falls. You look around and see old monks walking slowly, younger monks carrying offerings, nuns quietly preparing the hall, volunteers cleaning floors, arranging cushions. In that moment, if your heart can sincerely think, I am grateful that this exists. I am grateful that in this chaotic world, there are still people who choose to live this way. Then you have already moved out of the mindset of slander. That gratitude, too, is a form of offering. It nourishes your own merit in ways you cannot measure with numbers. So, my friend, I want to ask you softly, when you look back at your journey with the Dharma so far, where have you been merely a consumer? And where have you actually been a guardian? Have you only taken teachings, comfort, and protection? Or have you also given back, even a little, in the form of support, respect, or defending justice with wisdom rather than rage? Do not answer too quickly. Let the question simmer in you. If you feel moved, even slightly, to shift, then this entire conversation has already done its work. From today on, every time you open a sutra and see words praising offerings to the Sangha, imagine that they are not just describing ancient donors in another age. Imagine the text is inviting you, personally and quietly, to not become someone who tears down what others have built with their life. You do not need to make grand promises. A simple inner sentence is enough. May I not become someone who harms the Sangha. May I offer what I can, in my own way, to keep the light of the Dharma alive. Over the years, that sentence can grow inside you like a tree. Its roots are respect. Its trunk is gratitude. Its branches are wise speech. Its fruits are a gentler destiny for you and a slightly brighter world for those who come after. If you have stayed with me until now, thank you. It means you care about more than your own blessings. You care about the health of the path itself. I would love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever met someone who was very diligent in chanting, but constantly harsh toward temples and monastics? Have you ever been that person? Was there a moment when a particular monk, nun, or temple moved you deeply and made you think? I am glad the Sangha still exists in this world. If you feel safe to share, write your story in the comments. Your experience may help someone who is right now standing on the edge between faith and cynicism, unsure whether to keep trusting or to walk away. If this long script gave you a new way of seeing your chanting, your relationship with temples, and your words about monastics, please support the channel. You can subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment. These simple actions help this kind of deep, heart-based content about awakening, wisdom, karma, compassion, practice, and destiny reach more people. If you feel called and are able, you can also consider joining as a channel member to help sustain the work of creating long, thoughtful episodes like this, so that this small online space can continue to function as a tiny temple of reflection and kindness. Thank you for watching, for listening, and most importantly, for being willing to look at your own mind with honesty. May the light of the three jewels quietly protect you. May we all speak a little less that harms the Sangha and do a little more that supports it, and in that way, slowly change the course of our own destiny. At the end of the day, we all need something that brings us back to ourselves. Something that reminds us to slow down, breathe, and stay centered. Simple bracelet can do exactly that. Every bead you touch brings your mind back to calm, back to clarity, back to the present moment. If one of the bracelets you just saw resonates with you, you can find the purchase link in the video description and explore more beautiful styles in our channel store. Let the one meant for you find its way to your wrist.